In 2005, Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans and many other areas along the Gulf Coast. Now, 15 years later, Hurricane Laura brings back many of those horrifying memories. Plus, we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. These events may easily trigger an emotional response for those who lived through Katrina. Maison Vie licensed family therapist Susan Harrington joining us now to talk about how to handle what's known as the anniversary effect. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. How would you describe the symptoms of the anniversary effect?
So the anniversary effect is when we have the natural emotions we experienced during the event, plus the cognitive thoughts and the emotions that we're having since then and now because of them. So for Hurricane Katrina, for example, that means 15 years of thinking and feeling about it, plus what we originally felt. So how those symptoms happen is different for everybody, each person, as well as for events. So things like Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Rita would brought back a lot of things for people with Laura. We saw in the children back from Hurricane Katrina, they experienced thunder and lightning and lots of flooding, and that connected to them with death. And so now they have fears of thunder and lightning meaning death. That's really scary. When it comes to car accidents and phone calls that tell us bad news, we get to thinking that when the phone rings, it means it's bad news and not anything else. So that's kind of how it shows up.
So as we're dealing with the pandemic, and then we've got Laura, and then we've got this anniversary, what symptoms may adults be feeling right now? Is it depression? Is it like you feel like you want to just be alone? What exactly should you be feeling?
That's what I mean. It's kind of different for different folks. Some folks go out and want to be with people to try to forget, and some people want to isolate by themselves. But it's a difference in your usual is kind of what you're looking for. And to resolve the feeling is what you're after.
So what do you suggest in terms of how to cope over the next 48, 72 hours with this?
So for what we know from psychology research is we have some basic things that we can do and put in place for all of us at this time. And it's really simple things like believing that we can address and deal with the symptoms. So for example, if I'm not sleeping well, then maybe putting meditation in place at bedtime. It's really important to connect with our loved ones and our support system. That's a really valuable thing. And the other one is to stay connected with our community. So that's really difficult during COVID. It's really a difficult piece, but the more that we can be interacting with them in a safe way, the better.
How long do you think you should wait, or what are the particular signs that you need professional help?
So a lot of us believe that time will heal all these wounds, and it's not the time, it's what we do in them. So if we start to feel like there's drastic change in our sleep patterns, if there's drastic change in our eating patterns, if we start to lose pleasure in things that lose the enjoyment in those things we find pleasurable. Also, if our emotions are more sensitive, reactive, those sorts of things, we really should seek out some assistance.
And I guess the important thing is to know, just by talking about this, as you are talking about this, you're not alone in this. Everyone's going through this in some way or another. The symptoms may be different. So that's important too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why that community and connecting with the support system is really important, because then we can talk about it and really feel connected and not alone. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you so much for talking about this and to share those important tips, because it's something so many people may or may not realize that they're experiencing, but they're not going through this alone. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.